Welcome. This is John Brooker with the School of the White Crane. Today we'll be reading from MILO, Yiannopoulos, President Trump. Here's why you must cut funding from UC Berkeley. This was given in February and is printed in Breitbart. In 1969, Governor Ronald Reagan of California was met with a problem that will sound familiar to those who were following my college tour last week. Batshit crazy leftists rioting at UC Berkeley. Reagan's answer was to send in the National Guard, armed with buckshot and batons. Contrast this with Berkeley's more recently approach, which was to give Professor and former Labor Secretary Robert Reich a platform to spew a hysterical conspiracy theory in which Breitbart and I hired domestic terrorists to beat up my own fans and the residents of Berkeley and smash up Bank of America ATMs, Starbucks, and trash cans. But back to Reagan. He then gave a news conference where, in daddy-esque fashion, he slapped down members of the media for encouraging the lawlessness. The good news for President Trump and others interested in maintaining law and order in the face of leftist anarchy is that police crowd control has advanced since the 1960s, and there is no need to send in the National Guard with shotguns, as Reagan did, which it ended up killing one student. In the 21st century, pepper spray and foam cannons can accomplish the same job without fatalities. And there's even better news. There's a way to defeat protests without buckshot, foam cannons, or pepper spray. A way to beat them before they even begin. It's simple. Defund UC Berkeley and any other campus that encourages mad, radical politics that is now causing violence on American streets on a daily basis. The Department of Education largely controls the purse strings of American colleges. At UC Berkeley last year, federal funding came to $370 million, more than half the university's budgets. Colleges fear the withdrawal of federal funds so much that when the Obama administration merely hinted at doing so in 2011 over the largely fabricated, quote, campus rage epidemic, unquote, it led to one of the greatest outbreaks of panic and miscarriages of justice in American history, as colleges set up kangaroo courts which frequently expelled students for sexual assault based on threadbare evidence. The left are well aware of the existential threat they face. That's why it's Betsy DeVos and not, say, Jeff Sessions who is facing the toughest confirmation hearing. Jeff Sessions is important, of course, and will no doubt do extraordinary work in foiling the mad globalist dream of open borders. But it's what Trump might do in education that really strikes terror in the hearts of the left. Higher education is their ideological breeding ground. The mad leftist displays that you see in Hollywood and Silicon Valley start on college campuses. Sessions is a problem for the left on a number of fronts, notably law and order and immigration. But if DeVos is bold and aggressive enough, she could tear out the beating heart of leftist power. College ideological indoctrination. If colleges were effectively de-radicalized by DeVos, the left would take generations to recover. At this point, some libertarians balk at the thought of using the federal government to influence colleges. Once again, they fail to grasp the cultural libertarian argument. Libertarian ideals will come to nothing in a culture that doesn't respect liberty. This is what the do what you want, just leave me in peace to my Bitcoin and smoke weed faction of libertarianism don't understand. A similar argument obtains when talking about protecting the First Amendment from sources of hostility to free speech, such as Islam, feminism, and most of the media. And where are cultural values inculcated? Colleges, of course. As long as campuses are churning out students who hate free speech and free markets, what hope is there for libertarian policy priorities? If libertarians want to live in a free society, they better get ready to tread on their opponents. At my UC Berkeley show last week, anti-fascists set college property on fire, smashed up bank windows and ATMs, jumped on people's cars, and looted downtown stores, including the much beloved liberal Starbucks. They also assaulted dozens of my fans who were falsely accused of being Nazis. The San Francisco Chronicle reports that left-wing rioters caused around $600,000 in damages that night, with the riots starting at the college before spreading to downtown Berkeley. $600,000. That's an awful lot of money for a communist tantrum. The day after my tour bus was tracked, and my hotel location was leaked online, left-wing Berkeley activists took out the remainder of their frustration on the bus, which was vandalized with spray paint. Following the chaos, only one suspect was arrested, and celebrities, the mainstream media, the mayor of Berkeley, and UC Berkeley administrators blamed the damage on me, a homosexual conservative who was unable to deliver a speech because students, brainwashed by their Marxist professors, decided to set their campus on fire. For decades, a university campus has been a hotbed of dogma, brainwashing generation after generation in the most fashionable and foolhardy leftist ideas of the day. From professors offering extra credit to attend anti-Trump rallies, to courses on the problem of whiteness, leftists on campus are teaching younger generations how to hate. Is it any wonder that they then go around smashing windows and punching people in the face? And if that isn't bad enough, these thugs are absolutely terrible at identifying their ideological enemies. According to the account of Melanie Ramier in the New York Times, one person called a Nazi and was assaulted was a Syrian Muslim student. Oops! Who could have predicted training young people to attack instead of argue could turn out so badly? And by the way, if you're a New York Times or BuzzFeed or CNN journalist reading this, you're to blame too for creating an environment which it's okay to call conservatives Nazis and white supremacists. What did you think was going to happen? The current atmosphere is also terrible for college students themselves. They're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to attend what are effectively progressive madrasas, turning them into little more than a brainwashed street fighters. Today, a gender studies graduate seems more likely to end up in jail for destruction of property than in a stable job. Perhaps that is part of the plan, striking fear into the patriarchy one load of prison laundry at a time. It can end, and it must end, or America will face 8 years of violence on its streets, and who knows what state the country will be in after that. All because public universities refuse to honor their First Amendment responsibilities. It starts with Berkeley. President Daddy, tear down their funding. This video is a production of the School of the White schoolthewhitecrane.com. I'm John Brooker. You can contact me at schoolthewhitecrane@gmail.com.